Let's go.
Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. With me, I have my good friend Alex, but he may not be such a good friend or anything like that because we're already having this beef war against each other. We might actually go to other countries as well and go into Greece and try and face off against each other inside their stadium. So let's go on ahead. Let's talk about Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla and Kong. Whatever you want it to be, it's your world and you make it what it is. So let's go on ahead and do this. Hey, Alex.
Hi, John.
I'm doing good, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, click out of this real quick and look at the thumbnail. Why
Look,
does
guys,
he have me over the gorilla?
Look, I was just trying to.
Is it racist?
This is not racist.
I'm just messing with you, John. How you doing?
I know. I am doing great, man. I'm doing really good. I'm excited to be able to just geek out with you over this after a couple of weeks since we've seen this movie and stuff like that. And I just want to say this. My movie-going experience was a lot better than Godzilla versus Kong. I didn't like that one because I figured because they ended up focusing mainly on the character, like basically the humans, and not focusing on what we came to the theater to go and see. We came to see these monsters fight each other, and I don't care about the humans. I'm sorry, and this is what I said in my review too.
We're not here for you.
No, we're here for for Godzilla and Kong. You want to have your own little dramedy or whatever you want to have. Go ahead and make your own movie and let us have our monster movie like we want, like God intended it to be.
Like God intended. When God wrote the 10 Commandments, said, "Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not focus on the human characters in Godzilla movies."
Exactly. Amen. Hallelujah.
It's the third commandment.
Exactly. But dude, so I remember this though too. Like I had these other guys that came into our theater. My brother-in-law and I went to see this because my wife does not enjoy these movies either. She's like, I'm not going to waste my brain cells on this. I'm like, you should waste your brain cells on this. It's a fantastic fucking movie. But anyways, but these guys come in, right? They're like, oh, I see that nobody else. I see your wife's also skipped out on this too, huh? We just started laughing. I'm like, yeah. What about for you though?
Yeah, it's not my wife's type of movies. I'm slowly converting her into geekdom because now she'll get mad at me because she'll be like out in the public with regular folk and she'll overhear someone talking about something geeky and she'll be like, dang it, I know exactly what they're talking about and I know that they're wrong. So she's like, what have you done to me? I'm like, it's working. I'm planting seeds in your head and eventually she's going to be just as geeky as me, but it's a journey. It's a
work in progress,
slowly but surely. So she hasn't seen this movie with me. I will eventually. I'm just going to cheat and be like, hey babe, all I want for my birthday is for you to binge watch all of the Godzilla movies with me, just the legendary ones. I'm not going to force her to watch the old school movies, as awesome as that birthday would be, but just the legendary ones. Right. But eventually she'll watch it with me.
Okay. So here's the thing. I love what they did with this. They gave us the promise of the monsters. They gave us monsters fighting each other. And if you're in there for the humans and everything, like I said before, this movie's not going to be for you. This is a movie that is just for fun. It's to stuff popcorn in our face, to turn our brains off for a couple of hours and watch the monsters fight. What I like about this, though, is I love the character of Trapper. Trapper, to me, is the best character, though, for the human, though, too. He's just this over-the-top, over-eccentric character, and he understands his job. He understands why he's there.
Yeah.
And I love that whole entire setup, too, where basically you have Kong, who's also has, like, a infected tooth, and he has to go over there and try to extract the tooth. And I just love that. And then I have to agree with you on what you said on your review, though, too. Like, when you feel something with Godzilla or Kong, you feel sad for Kong. You feel sad and the emotion for it. I found myself being emotional a little bit because I'm afraid that he's going to die in this movie. it was such a good way of actually putting the stamp on this movie again, on this franchise.
Absolutely. That just like you said, I think what I really enjoyed about this movie, and even the previous one, and a little bit of Kong Skull Island too, especially once they started introducing Kong, they started having more human characteristics. Not like they don't talk, but you can tell in their facial, like they're showing more emotion on the faces. And I have to give credit to the animators of this. I think that's a really awesome job that they did with that. So it's like easier to connect with the monsters, even and then when it's just, and like my favorite scenes are when there are no humans at all. It's just Kong walking around, Godzilla walking around, because even though no one is saying what they're doing, you get the gist of what's happening. Like, oh, Kong is threatening little Suko here to take him back to his leader, or he's gonna use him as a weapon again, or Godzilla is. You don't know why Godzilla's pissed in this movie up until later, but he's headhunting. He's making sure everyone's acting right for some reason.
He's over there bitch slapping other monsters. Like, hey.
you know what's going on. So, like, while I will admit, this movie does have its flaws. Are there plot holes? Yes. Could the story have been written better? Yeah. But it's the kaiju, not just like the action, but also just their personal lives too, that was so entertaining that I could forget the other stuff, because the promise of this movie is, hey, sit down, watch Titans giant monsters beat up each other, and have fun. Everything else is extra. But because the mission that they sought out to achieve was so well done, like, I can forgive the other stuff. And which is interesting for me because I'm a big story person.
Me too.
But if it's hard to be upset at a movie if you're having so much fun. Like, does it make sense? Does any of this make sense? No, not realistically. But Godzilla just suplexed King Kong into the pyramids, and that was so awesome. So I don't care if it doesn't make sense.
Same here. I think
so happy.
Right, because I think for us, though, we care about the story, we care about stuff. You and I are pretty much on the same page when it comes down to certain reviews, if you haven't listened to some of our reviews in the past. But, brought to you by Orange Soda. But anyway.
Sorry, I just had to show that this is not alcohol, this is sparkling water.
There you go. Stay healthy, guys. But you know what, though? I think there's certain movies that you can make a judgment call on them saying, you know what? I don't need to actually be serious for something. I think this is a movie that the tone of it. You understand what they're trying to do to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't need to know the plot. I don't need to know anything. Just feed me what I came here for and let me be entertained. Yeah. And that's what we're here for. And, I thought the whole entire thing with Soko was actually pretty adorable, where basically you have this little monkey that's basically being abused by someone else that's in charge that's bigger than Kong too, because I'm like, okay, he's over there fighting all these other monsters in this underworld. There's got to be something bigger and badder than he is, because he's Kong. No one's bigger than he is. I like how there's this other underground world that he doesn't even know about.
A hollow earth.
Yeah, a hollow earth below the earth.
The hollow earth.
I loved it. Because of the fact that it's not so much of like Kong being dominant over anybody anymore, over the other monsters. Now he's the one who, like, okay, I'm being overpowered here, so I need someone that's bigger and badder than me. And we need to put aside our differences so that way my world can coexist while his world also coexist as well. So I definitely like that. And I also like how Kong goes on ahead. Yeah, he's taking down other Titans, but after that, he goes back to sleep like nothing even happened. And he's taking himself a little nap. So
I'm gonna curl up in this Roman Coliseum. This is nice. I love that part.
Me too.
Something I forgot to mention in my review, but I love the character, like the transformation of Kong throughout these movies, because they have yet to call him King Kong,
right?
But I think at the end of this movie, after they defeated the Scar King, and he returns to the hollower Earth to become the new leader of all these great apes. I think that's when he officially becomes King Kong. So, and then just how it separates, the difference between what a boss is, like Scar King, he takes advantage of his people, and then King Kong, who is a strong ruler, but he's fair. He wants to use his powers to help his fellow great apes. And just seeing that transition, I was just like, oh, it's not just like I'm the biggest and the strongest and you have to listen to me. It's like, no, I'm the biggest and the strongest, but I care about you and I want to help you. So
right,
like King Kong is definitely a more benevolent creature.
right.
Not as much benevolent as Mothra, but close to
For
it.
that realm, though, he is
for that realm. Yeah, he's the king. He's the king of hollow and hollower Earth. And then, whereas Godzilla is definitely an anti-hero. Godzilla does what needs to be done to protect
but he
Earth.
destroys half a city block to get the stuff done.
Way. Like Godzilla is nature, his force of nature, and if a building happens to be in Godzilla's way while he's trying to protect the balance of nature, you shouldn't have built that building there, according to Godzilla. That's not his problem. Yes, no. Thousands of people died in their fight in Brazil, but
and he sacrifices. Sacrifices had to be made.
I'm just like, yeah, thousands of people died, but like that is messed up. But that's one of those things where you just kind of no, everyone evacuated. They're fine. Right. Not a lot of deaths. But I just love that character development of Kong, from going just to like this lone ape to now he's King Kong. And that was just a really cool progression. And like Godzilla's progression is more just, I'm getting stronger each movie, preparing for the final boss, which eventually will come soon. I know this movie is doing really well financially, so they're gonna make more. Honestly, hope they make like 20 more, because I love these movies. But we'll see.
Right. But you know what, though, man? You mentioned something, though, too, about the fact that he's actually the king of that realm and things like that, too. But here's the thing. This is also something else I thought about, too, whenever I was seeing it. He was looking for people of his own kind. And he's not going to hurt them the way that this other animal ended up hurting them. These are his people. He's not, and like you said, he's out for them. He's not out for himself. He's not there to abuse them. He's there to be there for them. And that's something that I thought that was beautiful about the storytelling of, you have this loner who thinks that he's by himself all this time. And then he discovers that he has people of his own, but they're enslaved. He doesn't like what's going on. And he thinks that he can overpower this other monster, but he winds up finding out fast. It's like, wait, okay, you have a frozen dinosaur that can actually freeze my ass. And I'm also getting whipped by your belt. I feel like I was watching Pootie Tang for a minute there whenever he was coming around. But you just feel the pain and the emotion of like, I finally found my people, but I'm angered by the fact that they're enslaved and that they're allowing this to happen to them. And at first, Kong winds up kicking he winds up kicking him off the cliff, but I like how he saves him. It's like, wait, I could let him die. But
the one, not Scar King, the one of the apes that jumped him.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that moment of like, I could kill him, I could let him fall, but this is less mankind. I need it. So he winds up helping. Right. Yeah. So I like that.
I love that too, because it just strengthens the story it was telling, the past couple movies, that Kong is alone. He's by himself. He wants connection. Like, yeah, he has the humans, but like, there's only so much he can do. And he can really only communicate with that one little girl. Otherwise, he's alone. But now that he met his own people, like, he's not just gonna outright just start murking them all just because they try to kill him. Like, he's at least gonna give them a chance. Like, hey, I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what you've been through, but so I'm gonna pull you up. And then, of course, dude tries to stab him or whatever that Gray did. I forgot what he tried to do, but he ends up kicking him off.
Right.
And you know, so but I just like, I love that story, and like goes back to like the animation of how we understand what's going on with Kong, even though there aren't humans there to explain what's going on. Like, it's
Right.
still really good.
And then also too, the little monkey that's with him, he's trying to teach him how to hunt, how to eat, and everything too. And I like how Kong is like, he's never gonna learn. Like, he's just had it with him. It's like he's like, I'm just done with you.
You tried to kill me twice. You tried to have a water dragon kill me, but now we got food. That was cool. He just threw the head,
Right.
the head of the water dragon just falls in front of Zuko. He's like, ah! And then Kong's just with right behind with his axe, like, sup.
Now, now let's focus on Godzilla though. Let's talk about that. I like how he was just breathing in the radiation to
That was
kill.
cool.
Right,
I've never
because it's
seen
like,
that.
me either. I thought it was actually a neat way of like, okay, well, I need to come up with a strategy of how to beat this other monster. I already know that radiation will kill him, so I'm gonna go on ahead and attack his weak point. So he winds up sucking all the radiation,
Mhm.
and I thought that was pretty cool. I love seeing that new aspect of Godzilla.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen. You know, the lore is that Godzilla and other Titans feed on radiation, but I always wondered what was that like. Like, do they just hang out in an area that's super radiated and they just stand there? But like this movie, I think it's the first that actually shows how they absorb it. So like him actually like absorbing radiation, and it's something you can see. I was like, that was really interesting. I'm glad they did that, because I was always wondering to like, yeah, you don't see him like hunting other
No,
Titans to eat. So I'm like, so all he consumes is radiation. So I just pictured he would just go in a super radiated zone and just kind of sit there for a moment. Okay, I'm full, and then leave, which I thought that was kind of weird. But seeing him actually consuming it, I was like, cool. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that movie.
me too. And I like how the government's over there being just as shocked as we are as what's happening. So they're like the audience, and they're basically the announcers of telling us what's going on, like
Mhm.
a pay-per-view fight. He's sucking up all the radiation.
He's sucking it up.
And then, okay, where's he heading off to now? Well, he's going over to Egypt. What's he doing over in Egypt? And
Gonna rob someone's house, essentially.
but
Tiamat,
that
he's gonna rob her house, and
but
if
that
she
whole
doesn't
battle
leave, that's her. But
but the whole battle scene with him having the arm because his arm had to be amputated because of what that monster did to him. That
oh,
was pretty cool.
and when
With the Scar
Shinu
King. Yeah,
froze, Shinu froze Kong's arm, gave
yeah.
him frostbite. Yeah, that was cool. I really enjoyed the robot arm. Does it make sense in terms of
No.
like how it deals with frostbite? No, but once again, it's cool.
And
And
it's
it's fun.
vulnerable, and you get to see him vulnerable though. You actually get to see some vulnerability from Kong. It's like, okay, my people are enslaved. What do I do? My arm is I can't do anything.
My
And I
arm
like
is
how you have Trapper, and I like how Trapper gives him his arm. But like I said, Trapper, to be honest with you, is the one that actually has something going on. To be
mhm.
honest with you, he's there to set the plot. He's not just there for the sake of being there.
Yeah. I honestly like the humans in this movie
Mhm.
better than the others. But I liked the mom. I know they have names, but this is how little I care about the humans.
Right,
The
me too.
the lead scientist lady and the little girl. I thought their relationship was cute. And I'm like, okay, there's a little something here. Um, but yeah, but yeah, and Trapper was entertaining. I really like the podcast guy. I like that
Yeah, the
actor.
podcast guy is my favorite too.
Um, but yeah, the humans were better. Like, but I don't care. I thought this movie did a better job of just like hey, what are the humans doing? Oh, this, and this, and it helps explain the situation with the monsters, and then it goes on. But yeah, once Kong gets that robot fist, which was super convenient, but it is just so cool. But I do gotta say, I think we should talk about Scar King, because I think
Yeah.
Scar King is a very unique villain in the MonsterVerse. Because as far as I can tell, or I can remember, Scar King is like the first antagonist in a Godzilla movie that isn't like outright stronger or as strong as the protagonist. Like Scar King couldn't beat Kong in a one-on-one fight. Scar King definitely couldn't beat Godzilla in a one-on-one fight.
No.
So he has to use like other resources. He has to use the other great apes, and he has to use Shimu. He's like more of a cerebral villain. He's a villain that has to outthink his opponent. So, and I thought that was really cool, because you don't see that from
No, you don't.
other Godzilla movies. It's just like, all right, we're gonna go head up and see who can outmuscle each other. Like Scar King's very much a thinker, and I thought that was really cool.
I do too. I thought that was an interesting play on that, to be honest with you, because we always see where basically you have two monsters, two gladiators, basically, that are basically the same XP, same power. That and I think that having a monster like that is perfect, because you need to have someone that's going to try to outthink and outsmart the other Kong.
Yeah.
But I also like how they both know who they're after. Scar King is Kong. The other monster is Godzilla. And of course, Scar King can't do anything without that particular monster, and he's always using something to actually gain something from that monster. So I like the idea of the fact that you have him using other elements to try and take down Godzilla and Kong. But basically, if you didn't have that, all you would have is Kong versus him, and it's not that the story is not elevated the way it needs to be.
Yeah, and it's just with So I thought they used him well. But like, what do you think of Shimu yourself? Because I know there was a lot of mystery leading up to the movie about, like, okay, obviously there's something else other than the Scar King. So what did you think of Shimu when they finally?
I thought that was, to be honest with you, I thought seeing Shimu was pretty cool. Be honest with you, I mean, I wasn't because I like the legend of it, huh?
No pun intended. You said she was cool.
Yeah, no pun intended. Right.
Yeah.
But you know what, though, man? I like the fact that they're using a legend to figure out how to get up to the surface world, and using that as a way to actually see what this other monster can do. So that was something I really enjoyed, was seeing this legend come to life and knowing that Kong was the one who has to stop it, but trying to figure out how to do it, and also knowing that they have to team up with with Godzilla. I thought that was pretty neat. What about for you, though?
I enjoyed Shimu. Based on how Shimu was being built up prior towards the movie, and then how she was talked up in the movie, I thought I was a little disappointed because she didn't do as much.
No, she just freezes stuff
as it seemed. Like, she did start recreating the Ice Age, and I thought that was cool. But like, once her and Godzilla started fighting, it was like, it doesn't seem that Godzilla was really outmatched. I know Godzilla spent majority of the movie like powering himself up just so he can withstand Shimu's ice, but I was just a little disappointed. I wanted Shimu to be more of like a bigger threat, but at the same time, I also enjoyed the dynamic between her and Scar King, where like Scar King was like causing pain to Shimu every time she disobeyed. So it's like, it made you sympathetic for Shimu. It's like, oh, this isn't a malevolent Titan. This is just a powerful creature just trying to mind its own business, but it's been held hostage for thousands of years, however long they've been around. And I thought her design was really cool. She reminds me of the alpha dragons from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, I could
Uh,
definitely see that.
and I thought there's a lot of potential for Shimu in the future, and especially like in against other villains that will appear in the future. And I like that Shimu has her arc of like she's been enslaved most of her life, and then she has that moment of freedom when Scar King's like whip crystal thing is destroyed, and she's like, "Oh, that's your
It's on.
booty now, dude." Oh, you ain't control. Fly. I thought that was a really powerful scene when she was finally free, and she was the one that she didn't kill Scar King, but she got to freeze him. And I thought that was
Right.
great.
I did too. And I think that the reason why it was dubbed down the way it was, in a sense, was because of the fact that she is enslaved and she is being controlled. And I think if she wasn't controlled, I don't think she would have been as big of a threat.
Mm.
So because of that, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
But so I understand that, but I do wish in a way that they would have made her a little bit more dangerous. Besides that little element of like basically getting to that point where it's like, wait, I'm not controlled anymore, and then it's basically where Kong has to basically knock some sense into her, and then go after Scars. You know what I'm saying?
No, get him.
You're
Jump
right.
him.
That's what I
Scar
would.
King
That's what I.
definitely isn't beating all three of them by himself.
No.
Even with his great ape army, like that's a wrap.
Yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. But I thought another thing though too is I like the little ship that they used to go into the underworld though too. I felt like I was on a Universal Studios ride.
Yeah.
I love the 80s music, the little 80s elements to it. Color schemes were pretty cool.
That's a cool
This
I like that.
this was a fantastic film. This is a film that I would definitely own on 4K.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and like they just the fight scenes between the monsters, which is the majority of the movie, are just so incredible. They're so cool. Like Kong uses Suko as a weapon, using that little Kong as a weapon to beat up the other great apes. I think I was one of a few people in the theater because I saw it like early, and I was the only one that just like started cracking up and cheering because that was such a just beautiful scene. Like give this movie its Oscar right now. He's using a little ape to beat up their ape. Like who would have thought of who thinks of that? Whoever wrote this scene,
right?
Whoever animated it, wrote it in, give them Oscars right now. Because the movie just has so many moments like that where you're just like, gosh darn, this is so fun. And I loved every second of it. Like my cheeks hurt after watching because I was just smiling so much. It's that
Me too.
fun.
And I also have people sharing that scene though too, and just basically clapping, and it was just basically watching a pay-per-view match. And this is like my version of WrestleMania, but with Titans.
Which I'm monsters. It's great.
Right. It's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, and then of course you have that other when you actually get to see the ending of this film, the way it wraps up too with what's that? Oh, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go back into my notes. Not Shimu. What's the protector's name?
Mothra.
Mothra. Thank you. I thought
So
the
happy
Mothra was.
I was not
Me
expecting
too.
Mothra.
That was, what it reminds me of though, man. Like I know I mentioned the 80s, but when you get into that other scene where you meet the other villagers and stuff like that, if you actually paid attention to the details of it, it kind of reminds me of something in the 70s as well. The way it was shot, the whole entire color scheme of it, didn't feel like it was a 2024 film. I felt like I was back in the 1970s or 80s again.
Yeah.
The way that the set was.
It was all trippy. The whole set, like how they created the Hollow Earth. I really thought it was cool and interesting. I wanted to learn more about Hollow Earth, like what other type of environments and creatures there are in Hollow Earth. And obviously, when Mothra shows up, One, I wasn't expecting Mothra, and two, every time I see Mothra, I can't help but start crying because she's so beautiful and
I'm full.
kind, and she just wants to be helpful. And I love how like she is definitely Godzilla's wife. Like absolutely. As soon as she shows up, Godzilla chills out. He's like, "Oh, sorry, babe. What do you want
Sorry,
me to
my
do?
bad. I need a
Sorry,
Snickers.
I will not kill the monkey man anymore. I will
I'm gonna
stop.
go back to Greece and sleep. My bad. Sorry.
Sorry, baby. I'll go to Hollow Earth and help save the world. Don't worry. Okay." But I just love their relationship. And they say it's a symbiotic relation. No, it's romantic.
It's romantic. I can
He
tell.
looks the way Godzilla looks at Mothra with just hi. I love it. It's that humanity they're putting on these creatures, and I absolutely love it.
The facial
Absolutely love this
features,
movie.
right? Same. And the facial features, to be honest with you, we were talking about that. I just want to say this is a lot better than the Lion King facial features because there was no motion at
Mhm.
all with that live action. This you can actually have the details within the face and stuff like that, and the structures to the point where you actually care about that
Exactly. You
and the
you can
emotion.
actually tell, like, oh, Kong is obviously angry. Oh, he's happy now, or he's calm. Like the Lion King movie, you're just like, your father was just murdered. Are you okay, Simba? No. You sure?
More
Thought
facial
you'd be.
expressions than Christian Stewart, but I don't know.
Oh, don't get at
I'm
Kristen
joking.
like that.
I'm joking.
She does a great job normally. It's just
Right.
Twilight
It
is
was.
just an awful story.
I just like picking around. Sorry, but anyways, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover as far as this movie goes because I think we covered all the fights, we covered everything that we liked about it. You guys need to go out and check this movie out, like seriously.
Please go watch it. Watch it 3 times at least. That's a homework assignment for everyone. Go to the movies thrice to see it.
Yep, I've seen it twice.
so we can get more of these movies. But real quick, John, what are some titans or kaijus from the original movies that haven't shown up yet that you would like to see in future Godzilla movies?
To be honest with you, I grew up with a lot of the Godzilla stuff from those days, and I have like a mental block. But I would like to see Rodin show up.
Again,
Yeah, I'd like to see him show up. I don't know. I just like him.
Rodan is cool. He's a classic.
But the one thing I would like to see is Moklim member B. I think that's how you say the name. I'm trying to remember. It's Mokelemmembe. I think that's how you say it.
Mokimble. What does he look like?
Let's see. I can go on ahead. I'll do a share screen of it.
Share the screen. Share the screen. Share the screen.
Okay, hold on.
I'm curious. I'm trying to think
because
Mechagodzilla. No.
There we go.
Mothra.
This is just a sketch, so
let's see.
Let's take a.
I must see it.
I'm bear with me.
Hurry.
Okay. Is it?
What is that?
That's not. Yeah.
That looks horrifying. It's a.
That's who I. That's what I would like to see.
Mokele Mbembe.
Yeah.
That looks like a big nope. That looks terrifying. It's like a spiky tree elephant thing with claws.
You see, I'm trying to give Godzilla a challenge and everything. I just say, like, nope, not today. I'm going back.
It's like, nope, that looks gross. I'm not fighting that. Call me when it starts attacking cities. I don't want to deal with that.
Right, I'm on vacation. Let Kong handle it.
Kong, yeah, let Kong deal with that.
But for you though,
oh, for me, I want a lot. So I want Jet Jaguar to show up. Just that
Ooh,
robot,
nice.
Power Ranger robot thing that grows. I want that to show up. Which it would make sense because, you know, there's so many human casualties from the Titans that humanity will need something. Mechagodzilla obviously didn't work, but Jet Jaguar will. So I think that would be cool. I don't know, is it pronounced Gigan? I think it's Gigan.
Gigan. That's
has
it.
the chainsaw hands and the chainsaw
Yeah,
stomach. Like, it's ridiculous, but it would be so awesome to see a legendary take of that and then follow up with Space Godzilla. I think Space God, because there's a line in the movie that I forgot the exact situation. Scar King and them were trapped by what they said, the one that ate a star, and
Yeah.
and most people assume like, oh, Godzilla because he shoots the atomic breath. No, what if it's Space Godzilla? Because Space Godzilla is literally from space, and he has that giant crystal on his back that helps him fly. Don't know why, but it's cool. Like, Space Godzilla would be epic, and I would love for like a final movie to be Destroya. I think
Ooh.
Destroya as the final boss, the final movie villain for Godzilla. I think that would be really epic.
Okay. You know what else though? I would still like to see Nakaka. Kika. I am horrible at pronunciations.
Definitely don't want Kaka.
Hold on, I'll show you a picture.
Kaka. Not if you're gonna scare the Shane, it's gonna be Kaka.
Her.
Nakika.
Nakika. Yeah, thank you.
Nakika.
Yeah, I suck at pronunciations when it comes down to Japanese and and all that those names and stuff.
Nakika.
But yeah,
that's a dope name, honestly. It's Nakika. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. I think I'm saying it right.
I think you're saying it right. I'm the one who's saying it wrong. I'm the one.
Oh, you know who else I'd like to see?
Who?
Probably not a super powerful Titan that won't give too much of a. Well, maybe they can make it strong enough to be able to fight Godzilla, but Biolante, the giant plant monster thing, like,
yeah,
he looks
that'd be cool.
Too.
That would be cool. Maybe have him like in like the rainforest or some shit or something like that.
Yeah, a creature from Hollow Earth. Like, doesn't even have to be Godzilla that fight. You can make it. They can make a Kong movie, and that's who Kong fights in Hollow Earth, Violente, and like, cool. It'll be more. Definitely, Violente will definitely be a challenge for Kong. Godzilla.
Yeah. Radiation. Game over.
Atomic breath doesn't match well with plants. A
plant
monster. They can make something up to make Violente more durable. I get it, but whatever. It would be cool to see.
Definitely. Well, guys, that's going to be it as far as our review goes for Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla and Kong, the new empire. But Alex, man, I love having you on my show. I missed you, dude. I'm glad that we were able to do this review finally. Thank you so much.
Thank you for man. Always
you're welcome, man.
Godzilla stuff.
Anytime, man. You're always welcome here. You know that. My door is always open for you. Mikasa, Sukasa.
Nakika.
Nakika. It sounds like a Mortal Kombat name.
Nakika. That is a good one, though. I like that.
Yeah. Time to tweet up Mortal Kombat now.
Mortal Kombat. New character. Nakika. No.
Who the hell is Nick?
No. Don't message us again. You messaged us too many times. Sorry.
Right. But what do you have coming out as far as your channel goes and stuff like that? Do you have anything coming out for everybody to know on the Crop Top Critic reviews channel?
Yes. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, because I'm on the West Coast, I will be creating a tier list for all the Fallout series characters. So if you watch the Fallout series on Amazon Prime, I will be sorting all the characters, or at least most of them, in a tier list, and I would love to see you all there.
Okay, and I will be at work. So
You go to work. You gotta do it. If you gotta be at
I gotta
work,
do what I gotta do.
totally do work. Get paid, boo boo.
Yep. Exactly. You don't work, you don't eat. That's what I say.
But if you're off work,
yep, go on ahead, check out the Crop Talk Critic. I definitely recommend it. He did a crow reaction for the whole entire movie, which is fantastic. I was geeking out whenever I was watching it. I thought you did a very, very good job with that.
thanks.
You're very welcome. And so I just want to mention this to everybody. Rossie is not feeling good or anything. So if you guys can, basically just go on ahead, send out your thoughts and prayers to her and stuff like that. We do appreciate that. That's why we had to reschedule the Breakfast Club review, but we will be back. We will be doing that next Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have Zoe from the Backlook Cinema Podcast and Beth from the Made for TV Movie Podcast joining us as well for that review. This is the 40th anniversary of the Breakfast Club. So join us in detention as we review the Breakfast Club. So that's everything that we have going on over here. Matter of fact, I'm actually editing my Goodwill Hunting review for the audio podcast. You guys can go on ahead and watch the Goodwill Hunting review over there. Go on ahead, follow everybody at Unfiltered Studios, this little podcast family. That you guys can follow. You can get your hypno wellness on there. You can get you can do that. You also have Pills of Support podcast. We have the Sleepy G show. We have the Stupid History Minute. If you're into like pulp culture and it's just a 1 minute show, that's a perfect place for you. That's actually Kib's show. Go on and check him out over there. That's everything that we have going on over here for Movie Lovers Night. Go on ahead, follow Unfiltered Studios. And always until next time, guys, have a great and safe night. Thank you again, my friend, for joining me. I do appreciate that.
Thank you for having me, John.
Anytime. All right, guys. Text you later.